Alright guys, hello, it's Kirby again, and welcome back. It is time to finish up Cupcakes, hopefully. Or just barely. I hope so, we can finish it. Try not to waste time. Alright, so... here we go. Sorry, I'm not feeling good. Dash gaped in shock. Is that... Hey, Dash, let's hang out together. These ponies are lamos. Dweebs, dweebs, dweebs. Pinky mimicked. I caught her right before she left town. Remember when I left the party for about 20 minutes? That was enough time to play with her, of course. I had to wait till after the party to do that, but boy am I glad I did. It was worth it for the flavor alone. Griffins taste like two animals at once. It's amazing. I know she didn't have a number like everyone else in Ponyville, but when was I gonna get another chance to try Griffin? I probably should have asked where she came from, so I could have gotten more, but I forgot. I'll tell you what though, she was quite the fighter. She lasted a long time, which is a lot of fun for me. I got the chance to play with somebody other than a pony and try new things. It's too bad she had such a meanie mouth. She said so much bad stuff I had to take her tongue out. You know, bad language makes for bad feelings, Rainbow Dash. Dash didn't have anything to say. She just sobbed and writhed in her tight bonds. Well, said Pinky with an air of finality, that's enough reminiscing. It's time to begin. Putting down Gilda's skull, the pink pony gripped the scalpel in the cleft of her hoof and walked over to Dash's right flank. Okay. Another thing, I'm gonna stop it here. How do you hold something without fingers? Nah, I don't know. Back to the story. Without any flair, Pinky placed the blade an inch above Dash's cutie mark and began a circular cut around it. Dash shouted in pain and tried desperately to pull away, but the braces held her still. Finishing the incision, Pinky grabbed a curved skinning knife from the tray. One sec, guys. Screwing up her face in concentration. She worked it under Dash's skin and sliced the hide away from the muscle. Dash ground her teeth as she tearfully watched her flesh peel off. Pinky then moved to the other side and repeated the process on Dash's left flank. Once she had finished, Pinky held up both cutie marks in front of her friend and started waving them like pom-poms. Dash just whimpered. Her thighs burned like nothing she had ever felt before. Placing the ragged patches of skin down, Pinky selected a large butcher knife and walked behind the blue Pegasus. Hope you don't mind, but I think I'm gonna wing it now, Pinky laughed, as she grabbed Dash's left wing in her mouth and played with it for a few seconds, yanking it back so that sharp pain reignited the fire in Dash's flanks. Then, stretching the wing out, Pinky brought the blade down hard at the base. Instantly, Dash screamed and thrust her appendage. The movement threw off Pinky's aim. She tried to hit the mark again, but missed, and carved a huge slice into Dash's back. Dash, you gotta stay still or I'll keep missing, scolded Pinky as her friend howled. Pinky took another whack at her and hit her target. She swung again and again. Blood sprayed into the air, but Pinky realized she wasn't getting anywhere. The blade just wasn't going through the bone. I guess I forgot to sharpen it. I'll try something else, stated Pinky matter-of-factly as she tossed the knife over her shoulder, embedding the blade in the table. Through the haze of pain and tears, Dash heard the sound of a metal box opening and closing. Got it. Hey Dash, why do they call it a hacksaw? It doesn't hack. Hacking is what I was doing with the knife. This is a saw. I don't get it. Pinky placed the tool over the mangled flesh of the last attempt. Standing on her hind legs, she worked the saw back and forth with her front hooves. It sliced effortlessly through the bone and skin. The feeling of the jagged teeth grinding into her made Dash want to vomit. She watched numbly as her wing flew over her head and landed with a flump on the table. Pinky moved to the next wing and started sawing. Dash didn't struggle this time. She'd giving up trying to fight and focused on choking back screams of agony. Abruptly, the sawing paused. Pinky was only half done. The wing was hanging off by a sliver. Hey, Dash, Pinky piped up. Think fast. Suddenly, Pinkie yanked the wing as hard as she could. The bone snapped, but the blue pony's skin held, then tore away. The pole ripped away a long strip of flesh all the way down Dash's back to her rump. Her body seized at the unexpected trauma, and her pelvis tensed up. Dash felt a warm release between her legs, and her loud, unending melody of pain filled the room. Unable to catch her breath, she blacked out. Dash awoke with a gasp. The stench of her urine filled her mucus-caked nostrils. As her vision swam into focus, she saw a very pouty Pinkie Pie removing a large adrenaline syringe from her chest. Stomping her hooves, the frustrated Pinkie lashed out at her helpless victim. Didn't anybody teach you any manners? It's very rude to fall asleep when somebody invites you over to spend time with them. How would you like it if I came over to your house and went to sleep? Oh, I'm sorry, Dash. You're so boring, I think I'll take a nap. You think I like always doing this by myself? I told you how excited I got when I found you were next. I was excited to have a friend be here with me while I worked, but no. You've got to be inconsiderate. You know, I thought you were tough. I thought you could handle anything. I've had full stand-up better than you. Do I have to baby you? Huh? Is that how you want me to remember you? As a baby? As Pinkie stopped to catch her breath, Dash blinked and sobbed softly. Her back was in agony, her sides were on fire, and there was an intense pain in one of her legs. As she blinked again, she saw Pinkie pop something red into her mouth and began to chew. Noticing Dash's stare, Pinkie quickly gulped the morsel down. What? Pinkie asked. Oh, this? She held up another piece. Well, while you were asleep, I got a little impatient and helped myself to a small sample. I got it from your leg. You're not bad. Want to try some? Without waiting for a response, Pinkie shoved the strip of meat into the revolted Pegasus pony's mouth. Dash gagged and immediately spit it out. Pinkie frowned and picked up the chunk of flesh. If you didn't want it, you could have said no. Wait, no, I laughed. She contemplated the discarded snotty morsel, then gulped it up. It's not like you haven't had my cupcakes before. Swallowing, Pinkie turned her attention to a small can on the tray. She removed the lid, revealing that it was filled with red-hot coals. Lying on top of the coals were several large nails. As the adrenaline filled her veins, Dash began to panic. Picking up the can, Pinkie walked over to Dash's left, holding some tongs with her mouth. Pinkie carefully picked up a nail and positioned it at the seam between her victim's front leg and hoof, and then grabbed the hammer and took careful aim. No, Pinkie, Dash screamed. No, no! The hammer came down and the nail punctured Dash's skin. The white-hot burning was too much. Dash screamed as she pulled and thrashed at the braces, causing her raw skin to rub and tear. Pinkie tried to line up another nail, but couldn't find her aim, allowing a frustrated grunt. When Pinkie brought the hammer back to take a wild swing, Dash burst out crying and begging, Please stop. Please, please stop. Pinkie rolled her eyes. Putting down the hammer and tongs, she walked back in front of her friend and stared pensively at the broken Pegasus. Gilda didn't even cry this much when she had a live Paris sprite stuffed down her throat. Pinkie thought for a minute about what to do next, then had a sudden spark of inspiration. Rotating a wheel on the rack, Pinkie laid Dash on her back, then moved to Dash's hind legs, bringing the can with her. Picking up her tools, Pinkie drove a searing hot spike of metal directly into the bottom of Dash's hoof. As Dash yelled in pain, Pinkie moved around and drove a second nail into the other hoof. Next, Pinkie went back to her cart and located an enormous battery and controller, which she dragged over to where she was working. She tied copper wires between the terminals and the nails driven into Dash's hooves, then gave Dash a wink and flipped the switch. Electricity rocketed through Dash's body. The blue pony reacted immediately. Her body seized, and her muscles snapped taut. Dash's hips thrust skyward. Her eyes rolled back, and she let out a deep, throat-shredding cry. Pinkie giggled and danced in place, then reached down and turned up the juice. Dash convulsed uncontrollably, and her bladder emptied once more. After about 5 minutes, Pinky shut off the power. Wisps of steam rose from the singed fur around Dash's hooves, and the area reeked of cooked flesh and burnt enamel. Pinky rotated Dash upright again and tried to snap the drooling, delirious pony back to attention. Dash, Dash, Rainbow Dash, wake up! Dash moaned and managed to give a modicum of weak acknowledgement. Pinky studied her handiwork, then reached into the medicine bag and produced a large syringe. All right, time for the last round. Dash focused blearily on the needle, which Pinky took as a question of what it was. This is something that'll take the pain away, Pinky informed Dash as she walked down to her victim's room and back. Dash flinched as Pinky jabbed the needle into the lower part of the blue pony's spine. Moving in front of her friend again, Pinky lay down and elaborated. In a few minutes, you won't be able to feel anything below your rib cage. Then you'll be able to stay awake and watch the harvest. Dash started to cry again. Pinky, she choked out. Yeah? I want to go home, Dash sobbed. Yeah, I see you wanting to do that, replied the party pony. Sometimes I just want to give up. Just say, I'm done with this mess, and go to bed. But you know what? You can't shrug off your responsibilities. You gotta pull yourself up and meet the challenges head on. That's the only way you're gonna get ahead in life. Dash hung her head and cried. Minutes passed as the drug took effect. Eventually, Dash was completely numb from her chest to her flanks. At this point, Pinky approached with a scalpel. Glancing at Dash and smiling, Pinky made a long horizontal cut across the Pegasus pony's pelvis, just above her crotch. Moving up Dash's body, Pinky made a similar incision under her ribs. Finally, Pinky made a long vertical cut down Dash's stomach, connecting the first two. Okay, guys, I'm about to finish. This is almost over, but I don't have enough time to finish, so I'm gonna stop here, render this video, and record the last short part. See you guys later!